Hi, my name's Dee and welcome to Sunchild Tarot. Now this is, well these are even, because it's a bulk introduction, these are your full moon Gods at Play readings. Now I do the Gods at Play readings because full moons are about oppositions. They are moon opposition sun. They are also about illumination, about light being shed upon things. So they can be very much about revelation. I've made some notes about this particular full moon because let's face it, we've just come off the back of the peak of the Jupiter-Pluto Conjunction, which is playing out in a very interesting way, both in the world and energetically, if you're sensitive to that sort of thing. Certainly I noticed a little something. Little probably being a very patronising and minimising word there. But anyway, moving on. This full moon in Libra is at 18 degrees of Libra, so that is a master degree. Very much about death and rebirth, but being Libra, it's also very much about balance. And the themes that seem to be coming out of the astrologers are the balance between personal freedom and submission to a higher power, whether that be God, the divine, or whether that be governments, corporations, the law, whatever. Balance between your personal life and your relationships, and it's a very relationship themed moon as well, and also balance within, basically with your shadow self. So there's a lot of potential for work for you to be doing with your own shadow side and letting a lot of things go. This full moon in Libra is very much a declaration to act, and you may find yourself doing a complete about face on some belief or another that you have held for a long time, where you suddenly go, you know what, it's not even that I used to be wrong, but now I'm going to do something completely different because what I did think doesn't apply anymore. And it may well be some form of illumination that brings this to the surface. Now, there isn't a question with this reading. We are looking at the energies that are in play. The top row, it takes a very Gnostic view of the gods, seeing them as archontic forces or energies that are pressing us down, that are trying to separate us from our higher purpose, our higher selves. The bottom row of cards will be those forces, gods or energies that are trying to lift us up, that are assisting us to reach towards our higher purpose, our higher self, ascension, if you're into that sort of thing. Now, there's a timestamp, like I said, down below. You can fast forward through all my blurb because you want to look at your sun sign, probably first, which everybody does, but your rising sign as well. And it's a full moon. Look at your moon sign. You can examine other areas of your chart as well. And I will say in the readings which house this is happening in for which rising sign. Anything else, any other details, they're in the description below. Please press like, it helps promote the video. Please subscribe, it helps the channel, and I am very, very grateful. And thank you so much for everybody who has subscribed so far. I think I've only said that in about one video, and I'm slowly approaching 400 videos already, but I'm still a young channel and every subscriber helps. There is a link to a Facebook group down there, so if you want to see maybe slightly more effective notifications than the YouTube notifications of when I release new videos, but also I post all the astrology videos that I am learning stuff from because they're good astrologers and they're well worth a watch, simple as that. And sometimes I post readings from other readers because they deserve the exposure and they're good readers. There is a lot of good readers. Quick plug, Divinely Feminine, Woke Therapist, Jamie Zebra 23, Queen Cup. That was the other one that I wanted to recommend, Queen Cup. I think that's everything. Oh, finally, if you don't know what your rising or moon sign are, there's a link down there. You can get a free birth chart by following that link. You just need to know your time and place of birth as well as your date. So, I think I've waffled enough. With no further ado, let me bring up the cards. And welcome Taurus, rising moon and other placements after the timestamp. Now, if you are Taurus rising, this is occurring in your 6th house, which is the work, health and daily area of your life. And by the look of the cards that we have here, it's quite all-encompassing. The god forces or energies that are trying to suppress you currently. Shiva, destroyer, which sounds quite ominous. Bast with play. 2 cards jumped out of the Dark Goddess Oracle. Uzume with persuasion and Pandora with curiosity. I always think, especially when the Pandora card appears in this position, it's very much the, oh, what does this button do card. We have Prometheus with cunning and, strangely, Iris with harmony, supporting you and lifting you up. Thor with action, Sekhmet with reduction, Oya with deliverance, Hermes with journey, and Artemis with purity. And the angel energy looking after all of this for the full moon energies for you, Taurus. We have the angel of peace. I open my heart and rest in the peace of divine love. And the reason I said it like that and put the emphasis like that, in the peace of divine love, not necessarily the peace around you. It's the god force that is supporting you here is Artemis with purity, in contrast to Iris with harmony. Iris being a cupbearer to the gods, yes, a goddess of harmony, a rainbow goddess as well. But no, stuff harmony, do what you feel is the right and pure. That's maybe not the headline of this reading. But I do feel that if you are trying to simply make peace with someone for the sake of having some peace, don't. If you know you're right, if your reasons are pure, then no. Peace, when it means that you need to swallow your truth and bite your tongue, not worth it. Because it's almost like you've been backed into this corner with Prometheus with cunning here, leading to the harmony. You've been backed into a corner where you could just walk away. You could literally just go, stuff this. I'm not playing this game. Now, that is interesting with what's going on in these earlier cards. Shiva with destroyer, but what supports you is Thor with action. So you are being called to take action, not be distracted by just messing about. You know, goofing off, having a good time for the sake of having a good time. You need to reduce the attachments to situations, not people. But you need to reduce the attachments that you have to situations that are going on around you, and maybe just step back a little and take action to sidestep the destruction that's going on around you. Because whoever is trapping you into just making the peace and you're busy trying to speak your truth, hopefully, I'm not sure they're totally aware of what this destruction is coming up. Now, bear in mind, work, health and duty area of your life. Now, work, health and duty are all very much things in the news. You could be a key worker where work is still carrying on, or you could be someone who is furloughed, left at home, told to remain in place, or lost your job because of the current crisis, let's put it that way, that the world is facing. But that is destruction that you need to take some action to combat. You need to take some action to make sure that you are preserving everything that you can, because there is a way out. But I do believe, this is what Oya promises here, but I do believe that you possibly already know what this way out is. Do not be persuaded, with Azume here, to something that sounds interesting, but you don't know all the ins and outs of it, because again, that's linked straight to this cunning of Prometheus. Because I feel that the path out of your current situation is reasonably obvious, but if someone is literally going, come and look at this, come on and look at this, and it's not something that you've necessarily thought of before, on this one instance, because I wouldn't always advise this, but on this one instance, look at their motives or look at their accuracy, because they may be very well meaning, but they could still have got it wrong. But there is a path out, and what Oya is telling me is that this path out is already known to you, and that path out is found by reducing your attachments to various situations, whatever those situations may be. Let's see what the tarot... I'm using the Mystic Mondays tarot with this, because I always think there's a certain purity with these cards. No, where am I going? Right, if you take action, things will start moving fast for you. And the deliverer... so, Princess of Cups, right. This method of deliverance is... that I say that you're aware of, is sort of... it's almost saying, pursue your own dreams, don't be tempted into somebody else's dreams, because it's almost like you end up putting yourself in debt to them by pursuing their curiosity rather than your own. Who we got here? Bast with play. Yeah. Let your intuition guide you when it's not supposed to be a time for playing. But whatever this destruction is, it makes you feel like you are losing your strength, you are losing your foundation, you are losing your base to work from. It's almost like you coil your legs ready to spring, and then all of a sudden, no legs, or no leg muscles, or what have you, and your base to go whoosh from has vanished. Ignore that and act. Because once you start acting, things will start moving fast. Because eight of wands here with the Thor action card. So I think wherever this destruction comes, maybe you need to react fast as well. But you need to take some form of action, and I do mean action rather than reaction. It's not I need to fight this as much as, well, if I can't do that, I'm going to get on with this. And you go and get on with whatever that is, as soon as possible, and you don't waste time messing about. With the reduction, we have the Knight of Swords. So again, that image of releasing attachments, chopping things off, but also the speed. The Knight of Swords is the fastest of all the knights. There is a deliverance, but it is involving you pursuing your own dream, not what somebody else is going here. I can help you here. Let me set you up in this, and then you can just pay me back over... No, don't do it. It's a trap. They might not mean it to be a trap, to be fair. I'm not feeling either malice or an absence of malice, but be careful who is misinformed or trying to take advantage of you. But it's by pursuing your own dream that maybe you've not been too sure about before. But to be quite honest, if not now, when? And that's what I feel with this, especially with it being followed immediately by Hermes here with Journey. Remember that Hermes became the god of medicine after he won the Caduceus. And it is clarified here by the Hierophant, and I'm really drawn to the imagery of this one, is time for you to start reaching for the pinnacle of you. But this fight of purity, yeah, it's going to hurt. Obviously, you're cutting things out, you're having destruction visited upon you, and things are moving fast. Now, when things move fast, it never doesn't hurt. You know, even for the better, you are still losing something, even if it's stuff that you're happy to be rid of. But there's a certain attraction to the familiar and the same old. It may hurt to stand up against this trickery that's just telling you to make peace, come what may. No, you stick to your guns. Taurus, you're normally pretty good at being stubborn, so you stick to your guns. But if you are going to keep to that purity, it will hurt. But what is interesting is the Oracle of Heaven and Hell card that I drew. Ananel with perception of unity. So, not unity, perception of unity. And underneath it we have Andros with folly. So, that unity that you want has to be within you. Not within you and whoever you're trying to make peace with by biting your tongue and swallowing your truth. The unity is within you, all the different parts of you. Your masculine, your feminine, your inner child, your inner angel, your shadow side, all of it. All 5 bits of you working in concert together. And so I read again. I open my heart and rest in the peace of divine love. That's the peace that you want, the peace of divine love, not peace with whoever this is. That's not the peace you're after. That's an elastoplast over a large wound. You need the peace within you. Then you can transmit that peace to other people and share it with other people. But it needs to be in here. So, hey, there's some work for you there, Taurus. This should be quite an interesting time for you. You know, I say in the terms of the old Chinese curse, I think. So, if this means anything to you, please do comment down below. I have given you the like, share, subscribe speech already. But if you want to look for your next readings, they will be your monthlies that I'll get done over the next few days. I know we're halfway into the month already, but, you know, just assume a month. They're useful when they're useful, you know. So, yeah, crack on, Taurus. You've got quite a bit of work to do. Cheers.